Life has an interesting way of rewarding those who give. Often, people believe that sharing is only for the rich, for those who have everything in abundance. But the truth is, sharing is not about wealth. It is about the heart. You can share kindness, a smile, your time, or even a simple word of encouragement. So many of us hold back from giving because we fear we do not have enough. We think, what if I lose what little I have? But here's a reality. When you give with a sincere heart, life finds a way to give it back to you, multiplied. Not always in money, but in opportunities, relationships, peace, and joy. Generosity is not measured by the size of the gift, but by the size of the heart behind it. A small act of kindness can change someone's entire day. A simple gesture can plant a seed that grows beyond what you can imagine. If you want your life to feel richer, not just financially, but emotionally and spiritually, start giving. Not when you have more, but right now, because what you give today will return to you in ways you never expect. Let me share a story with you. A story of someone who had almost nothing, yet decided to give. And what happened after will change how you look at giving forever. There was a man named Daniel. He lived in a small town, working as a construction laborer. Every day, he would wake up before sunrise, carrying heavy tools, mixing cement, and lifting bricks under the scorching sun. His income was barely enough to cover his rent and daily meals. At the end of the month, after paying the bills, there was nothing left sometimes, not even enough for proper food. Daniel was not a lazy man. He worked harder than anyone else, but life was tough. Despite his struggles, Daniel had something most people overlooked, a kind heart. He never complained, and he always smiled, even when life gave him very little reason to. One cold evening, after a long day at the construction site, Daniel stopped by a small food stall. He had only a few coins, left barely enough to buy a bowl of soup. As he waited for his order, he noticed an elderly woman sitting in the corner. She looked weak, shivering from the cold, and clearly hungry. The stall owner ignored her because she had no money. Daniel looked at his own coins. If he gave them away, he would go to bed hungry. If he kept them, he could have his only meal of the day. He sat there, torn between hunger and compassion. After a moment of silence, he stood up, walked to the stall owner, and said, "Please give her the soup instead of me." The stall owner raised an eyebrow. "You sure? You don't look like you've eaten much either." Daniel smiled gently. "I'm sure." He handed over his last coins and left quietly. That night, Daniel went home hungry. He drank some water and slept. His stomach ached, but his heart was at peace because he knew he did the right thing. The next morning, he woke up early as usual and walked to the construction site. But when he arrived, something unexpected happened. The site manager called him over. "Daniel, come here. We have a surprise for you." Daniel was confused. "For me?" "Yes," the manager said. Yesterday, a man came looking for skilled workers for a big project, a new housing development. He needs someone reliable, hardworking, and honest. I recommended you. Daniel could hardly believe it. But why me? The manager smiled. Because you've always been the kind of worker everyone respects. You work hard, never complain, and you help others. People notice that. The new job paid 3 times more than his current one. It also came with free meals and accommodation. For Daniel, this was life-changing. Weeks later, when he got his first salary, the first thing Daniel did was go back to that small food stall. He saw the same elderly woman sitting there again, shivering in the cold. But this time, Daniel didn't have to think twice. He bought her a full meal and extra food to take home. The woman cried, holding his hands, and said, "You are an angel." Daniel smiled and replied, "No, I'm just someone who knows what it feels like to have nothing." Daniel never expected anything in return for his kindness, but life gave him back something far greater than he ever imagined. From that day forward, Daniel promised himself to keep giving, no matter how little he had, because he learned that giving opens doors that money alone cannot open. The story of Daniel teaches us something powerful. Giving is not about having plenty, it's about having the heart to share. You don't need to be rich to give. You don't need to have everything before you help someone. All you need is the willingness to share what you can. It might be your time, your energy, your smile, or even a simple kind word. These small acts cost nothing, but can mean everything to someone who needs them. When you give without expecting anything in return, life has a way of surprising you. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but someday in ways you never imagined. And often, what you receive will be far greater than what you gave. So don't hold back. Don't wait until you have more. Start giving now with whatever you can, because the world needs more people like Daniel, people who believe that kindness and generosity can make the world a better place. And remember this, the more you give, the richer your life becomes, not just in money, but in love, joy, and purpose.